Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something quite close to my heart, and that is actually more of an emotional thing, being a people pleaser, because being a people pleaser has never, and when I say never, I mean never served me, even if I believed it did. As a child, especially as a little girl, I really believed that pleasing my parents and pleasing my siblings and my friends would make me more likable, make me easier to be around, make me just somebody that just goes with the flow, and again, someone to be more loved because of it. But actually, it wasn't until later on, obviously, in my life that I discovered it didn't serve me, because it also made me lack boundaries, not only with people, but with food. And this is something which hugely overtook my life growing up in my teens, in my 20s, and it did dip into my 30s as well, a little bit, until I nipped it in the bud. So, the first thing I want to say is, if you are a people pleaser, I hear you, I see you, trust me, and I understand you. I understand what scenes in your life caused you to be like this, because I actually think most women, a lot of people are in general people pleasers, but most women are people pleasers because we've been conditioned from, hundreds of years, or if not thousands of years, to be the caregiver, to put everyone else before us, and to essentially put ourselves last and do things for others because that is what we should be doing. And lo and behold, we've got to this stage now in 2025 where we've just got a load of females who are people pleasers and not serving themselves ultimately. So, yeah, I hear you and I see you. Number two is boundaries, because people that people please do not have boundaries like those who are not there to please others. So this shows up in ways that just don't serve us. So I would say the best thing to do here is, if that's you and you notice now, you're aware that you don't have these boundaries with the people closest to you, especially, just start to set gentle boundaries with these people, because that is what's going to really help you. Because ultimately, and this is a big truth bomb, if you don't have boundaries with people, then you're not going to have boundaries with food. Okay? And I'm going to repeat that. If you don't have boundaries with people, you don't have boundaries with food. Because with food, it shows up as, this is my time now. I can eat what I want. This is my time to just eat this food. And there's no boundary set in place to stop you from eating X amount. You're just going to overeat if that's the case. And it used to happen to me all the time. Like, trust me. And it just was not a good cycle I was in. And I used food also to soothe me, to numb any feelings. I didn't even understand what I wanted, or what I didn't want at the time, because when you're a people pleaser, and this is my third point, when you're a people pleaser, you lack knowledge of what, or lack the knowing of what you want or what you don't want, because you're so used to pleasing other people. And that doesn't just dip into food, it dips into other areas of your life, like making career decisions, or deciding, where to eat out, for instance. I know a lot of people have that issue with decision fatigue, of like not knowing where to eat out with a friend or a loved one. But, you just don't really know what you want. And I find that it's quite funny. Like, I've got friends that are people pleasers, and when we're out together and we're looking to go to eat somewhere, they don't know where to eat. So I have to ultimately make the decision, because they are afraid of making the wrong choice. But it's due to them not actually knowing deep down what they want. And on the flip side, when I'm with friends that know what they want and they're not people pleasers, the decision is made like that. Like, I don't even have to input my opinion. Like, they just tell me, right, we're going to eat here. And that is the difference. So, they're the kind of people that have boundaries with food because they don't depend on food to fill in the void of emotions that we have learned to dull down ultimately. And I'm really passionate about this topic because it really, really, really affected me for many, many years. And I don't want it to affect you for as long as it's affected me. And if it has affected you for even longer, I mean, for me, it's been, let's say, almost 2 decades, which to me is a long time. If that's been you and you you become aware that you do this, just know that it's okay to set these boundaries, and it will actually improve your relationship with other people and your relationship with yourself tenfold than if you were not to start setting these boundaries. So, yeah, set your boundaries. It could just be as simple as just saying no one day. Just start saying no to something that you really don't want to do. Just test it, see how you feel. And it's funny because, again, that will spill into saying no to more food because it's your boundary. You know you don't need that food to fill in that emotional void. So as you're going through life, start saying no a lot more, especially when it's stuff that you really, really, really don't want to be doing. But I, on the flip side, do understand that as people pleasers, we become indifferent. And I've become indifferent to a lot of things. I just think, I don't really care if I do the thing or not. I just automatically tend to say yes because it suits the other person. And if it suits the other person, it suits me. But what I've started to do is just say no to things. And I'm telling you, it's a very powerful thing to do. Just say no. Even if you're indifferent, try it. I know it's hard, but just try it and you will get to learn how that impacts you in other ways and with food as well. It's very empowering saying no when you don't really have to, when you could say yes just because it's easier or it will suit the other person. But no, just say no and you will feel a lot better for it. And I would say the last tip I have here to really, really help you just not dull down your emotions, because a lot of the time we turn to food because we're anxious, we're sad, upset, angry, we're resentful. We're stuffing all these emotions down and we're numbing those emotions through food. Even joy, being overjoyed sometimes, you're kind of numbing that joy with food, weirdly. But yeah, the last tip is just express yourself. I'm telling you, like, if you need to shout, shout. If you're afraid of the retaliation of what the person's going to say back or how they're going to react, just communicate it to them, express it to them in a way that doesn't allow them to show up angrily. If you live with someone who tends to flare up, which is, coming from experience here, like I have, I used to kind of tiptoe around them and creep around them and not fully express myself. But I learned to actually, I had to tell them, look, my emotions are just as valid as your emotions. So please don't flare up at me because I'm just telling you how I'm feeling. And you've essentially taught me that I can't express myself. So when I communicated that and they reasoned with me, they understood what I was saying, then the whole relationship changed. And that resentment that I had deep inside me did change, and I felt a lot better for it. But, I realized it was not them, it was actually a mirror of me not expressing myself. I had to express myself in order to eliminate that resentment because I cannot put this on someone else. you know, whatever dynamic is going on in a relationship, like it's normally like both parties, and it's normally 50-50, because even if someone's showing up more aggressive than the other, the person on the other side is allowing that person to show up aggressively. But whereas if they stop allowing that person to show up aggressively, then they're going to be more in their power. This person is going to back off and come at it with more empathy and just more understanding. And then this person is going to feel a lot calmer, a lot more like they can express themselves. And, it's a way healthier relationship as a result. So, yes, express yourself and don't be afraid. You'll find that you essentially do change your identity once you do these things, because you don't identify then as a yes person and a people pleaser, because you're essentially like living for yourself and not primarily for others. And in turn, that will show up differently in your relationship with food. I know it might sound a bit like, really? Like, is that going to work? But it will. You'll just feel more empowered. You'll know what you want more. You'll allow yourself to express it. And you can say no to certain foods. One example might be you live with a partner, and let's say you're a woman and your caloric needs are not as high as your male partner's needs, and he's used to just cooking and dishing out your dinner, and he doesn't obviously calorie count because he doesn't need to. Let's say you want to lose weight and you want to get fitter and healthier, but where he's serving you your dinner, you're just kind of eating what's on your plate. But actually a boundary there would be, saying, look, darling, can I please, I appreciate you cooking, but do you mind if I just put my portion size, because I've got this goal that I want to reach with my weight loss? And, if they're supportive, then they say, yeah, of course, go ahead, like do what you need to do, which, is what they should be saying. So that's one boundary example that you could set, just to ensure that you are on your way to reaching your goals rather than not. So that's something I tell my clients, because a lot of women struggle when they're living with a partner and they have families, of portion sizes. And this is just a really easy way to do it and just get back control over that that aspect of your day, that dinner time with family. But like I say in this video, understand your emotions, understand what you're feeling in that moment when you want to reach for foods. Okay, set your gentle boundaries, and then start to set less gentle boundaries, ones that you need to set, and also express yourself. Okay, simple, kind of. So comment below with your biggest takeaway, and do subscribe if you want to. I try my best to help you with self-sabotage when it comes to your fat loss and strength goals, for any long-term health and fitness goals essentially. And I'm your gal. So thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.